Sometimes you just gotta enjoy the fall. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back. It's Wterfiji with the good, your favorite spiritual auntie. How are you doing today? Now, today we're going to introduce to you a new series called Wet's Inner View. Before we get into my inner view, make sure that y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe. Like, hello, because you fuck with auntie. And make sure you share it, because y'all bitches should fuck with auntie. Hello. Today's interview is brought to you today by the most powerful season of the 4 seasons that we currently have. Now, some people may think that it's summer just because we're very fruitful. It looks like it. We're producing a lot, we're growing a lot, but it's not summer. Well, some people may think that it's spring because everything has to have birth first before it can get to the fruition and production of things, but it's not. Some people may even think that it's winter. Death is a very powerful transition. You transition to that's like you can't live no more. But it's not winter either. It's the season that we're in now, fall. And as the leaves begin to fall and the temperatures begin to descend, this puts us into the trajectory of the most powerful season and energy throughout the year. This right here is a very powerful season because it teaches us so many messages, and sometimes we miss the beauty in the messages because sometimes it can be difficult to see the beauty in things as you are watching them die out. Sometimes it can be difficult for us to see the lesson because all we see is the chaos that's causing or what we believe is chaos, but it's dying out. This is what we've asked for. You pray and you ask for change. You pray and you ask to transit yourself into a new energy, a new environment, but you're afraid of the death and the dying out process that comes with it. But that's the energy of autumn. So how can you denounce you when you're in your strongest form right now? When you are in fall, you're slowly working on becoming your perfect form. Shout out to Sid. You're denouncing that. And so each time you're holding on to things that no longer serve you, you're inadvertently stabbing yourself in the back. You're saying, no, I don't want that new car. No, I don't want that new house. No, I don't want to move. No, I don't want to go on vacation. That's exactly what you're saying. Because you're denying yourself growth and change. And it's funny because it's like, well, it's fall and things are dying out. How can something grow and change? Because it's transition and transformation. You see here, when the leaves fall off, and if it's an apple tree, the apples stop just growing and the apples start falling off because they all spoiled. Where does that leave the tree's energy to go? Down to its roots. If your roots have no energy, you won't have any life at all. You may never know what you'll grow into the following year. You may grow even bigger, better, brighter, and even more beautiful, but you'll never know that because you don't pull your energy down to your roots. You don't ground yourself. You're not rooted. That's one of the things and energies that autumn teaches us. Harvest and gratitude. We sprouted all these different seeds in spring. It's the rebirth. We've grown to this big, beautiful, green, flourishing apple tree. And we have apples, the biggest, brightest, reddest, crispest, sweetest apples in the summer. We have watched ourselves curate all of this. We're thriving, we're thriving, we're thriving. But when it's time to harvest it, because you know that the temperatures are dropping and that no longer this is the environment that you can now flourish in, so you have to conserve yourself. You got to harvest, but some people don't harvest. They don't collect their apples because they know, look, I still have the biggest apple. I still have the biggest apples. They're the biggest, freshest, crispest apples. And so you still hold on and you don't harvest, but you also got to show gratitude. Because if you have gratitude while you're harvesting, that wouldn't happen because you would be grateful for the fruit that you have produced over the year. You will be grateful however big it was or however little that you believe that it is, because it's only relative to you. Nothing is promised, but it can only get as big or small as you, and that is a product of everything that has transpired between those two transits, between the start and the somewhat coming to an end. You're right here about this time. This is what you have done and curated. And that can happen based upon so many things, but it's not fair for you to punish yourself for it just because it's little. And that's why you don't harvest it. Another energy and reminder that the season of fall reminds us of is to reflect and let go. Reflection. Why did things happen the way that it was? If you have tension right now between any aspect in your life, how did it get there? Things don't just magically start fucking up. No, you always have a sign, but sometimes we can be oblivious to them because what? We're in our pride, we're in our ego. We're still in summer. We're still in summer. I still have the biggest, brightest, crispest apples. But guess what, baby? You're in a new environment now. And even though sometimes you don't go anywhere, but the things around you, the seasons are changing. So now you're in a new environment. So you have to reflect and then let go. And letting go comes in various shapes or forms, whether it's people, letting go of the expectations, letting go of the self doubt, letting go of the chastising yourself, reflection and letting go, because that's all you can do. You reflect to keep mental notes for next season. Next year, I'm gonna do this. Next time when it's time for me to start growing crops, I know that you know what, I shouldn't put I shouldn't put my mango tree next to my apple tree because the mango tree gets big in it. You gotta take your notes. This is your time for you to take notes, and then let it go. Let it go, and you let go because and letting go, that's still part of that harvesting process. Because when you let go, you have found appreciation for whatever it is that that experience was supposed to teach you. And sometimes when we don't let go, we hold on to the harvest. And we hold on to the harvest, we hold on to the roots. We hold on to the trees. We hold on to the branches. We hold on to the fruits. And guess what? We're suffocating ourselves. We're suffocating the energy. We're suffocating our growth. Nothing can grow if you strangle your roots. And sometimes we do lose sight of that because we're still trying to hold on. So let go. Let go. And not only does winter teach us how to work through transit and transformation, it also has some very important events or dates, celebrations, holidays, whatever you want to, whatever they are to you. It has some very powerful energy. And there's three powerful things I just want to talk about a little bit. The autumn equinox. Autumn equinox is a very beautiful transit. It happens about 3 weeks into September. And it is the energy of where it's the balance of the light and the dark energy. That's what the autumn equinox helps us provide. The balance between our light self and our dark self. And sometimes that's the one that really gets y'all. It really throws y'all for a loop and a dizzy because everybody be so hard trying to, I'm a light, I'm a positive person, I'm a light, I'm a positive person, but you denounce and negate your dark, those darker aspects about you, the negative aspects about you, the parts that need growth, love, and healing. Because you see, everybody is different. You think you all supposed to be love and light, but what about that 15% of dark that you are? What about that 37% of dark you are? Some of you all are supposed to be 63% light and maybe 27% of the dark. But you're operating at an 80% of your light and you are robbing the parts of you that need love that extra what? 13%? You see why things are falling off. You see why that inside of you and that inner voice that's crying out and saying, help me, I want help, I need attention. You wondering why you're boiling up on the inside because you've lost your balance of light and dark. So you have to learn how to operate to your character design, who you are within yourself. And that's what the autumn equinox help us in working through the balance of light and dark. Now, Halloween, it's a very powerful energy because this is when the veil between the living and the dead is the thinnest, and we all can walk amongst each other. And Halloween is really just a celebration of life and death. And so it's both energy. It's winter and summer in one, in the season of transit. Now that's dope. No shade. That's why autumn is the strongest season. You're experiencing both energies. Come on, somebody. Thanksgiving is the final event that I wanted to touch light on and the energy that comes within that thanksgiving, thanks for giving, thanks I'm giving you another opportunity. And this is what that energy is. It's a reminder that everything can be restored. And going back a little bit to what I said earlier about the reflection and harvesting and things of that nature, sometimes when we're either very happy that we've produced so much, we become very frugal, or when we haven't produced enough, we get very in our headspace and insecure and self-conscious and very frugal about how are we going to put this out? How are we going to do this? How are we going to set this in order? And we sometimes forget that it was produced in the first place. We want to put it on this shelf in this trophy case, and we want to just admire it as still a reminder of our greatness or things of where we used to be, but also understanding that it can still be restored. And it may not even be like that next year, next season. It might be bigger and better. Who knows? It might not be. You might get nothing, but that just means that that wasn't meant for you in this season, and that's okay. But you got to be okay with that. You know, and speaking about this now, like kind of going off topic, but not really. Like that one's also kind of tricky because it's like, and just the energy within itself of what we just was talking about. Because a lot of the time we get comfortable with where we are, and you contradict yourself because you say you want change and you want better, but you're addicted to pain. Pain is comfortable to you. And because pain is comfortable to you, you go for the bare minimum. And you no longer reach to the top. You got to start reaching to the top. I don't know who that was for, but I just felt that on my heart just now. Some of y'all got to stop thinking so lower level and just the basic needs and the bare minimum of yourselves and what you can do. That's some of y'all issues. And in order for you to be fruitful and a reminder that everything can be restored, even within restoring something, you can restore something better than what it was built in the first place. But you gotta believe it. You gotta know what you're doing. You gotta put in the work. Sometimes we don't know what we're doing, but you still gotta put in the work. You gotta fall like that apple. You gotta trust. You gotta trust. And I know that sometimes it can be scary, especially in this season right now, because you're actively watching everything fall. You're watching actively everything die out. You're watching the conflict. You're conflicted within yourself. You're lost. You don't know where to go. Sometimes it can be lost, but sometimes you just got to enjoy the fall. And you know, the other day, I was just outside. I sit outside maybe like 5 hours a day. And a strong wind had picked up. And I watched like 7 leaves gracefully fall. And I just looked at it and I really said, oh my God, that is so beautiful. Some of them was green, some of them was yellow, like one or two is red. But it was so beautiful. Sometimes you just have to enjoy the fall. So that way you can eventually land. But that's the scary part. Some people don't jump or they don't allow things to fall off because they're scared of the landing. But if understanding that if enough of those leaves fall off, if enough of those things die off, you'll have something to land on. You will have something to land on. Trust and believe that. Well, I think that's all that I have to say right now. That some of you may be feeling alone right now. Some of you may be feeling a little lost right now as your world is spinning. Don't give up. And remember, like they taught us in school, energy cannot be created or destroyed. So, what does that mean for you? How are you going to transform that energy? Better yet, how are you going to fall into your next season? I love you all. You are all powerful, beautiful, and abundant people. And I just want to say this. Wterfiji, love you.
My head make me gag, ho.